If you're anything like me, you've no doubt noticed the huge amount of cozy games that have come out and how most game devs in the YouTube scene are seemingly developing even more. Now, I like cozy games. I grew up playing things like the original Animal Crossing, Harvest Moon It's a Wonderful Life, and newer things like Stardew Valley. But I'm a little tired of just how saturated the genre has become, so I thought I'd introduce a little twist. Enter the anti-cozy game. First, however, allow me to tell you a little bit about myself. I actually have zero formal relevant experience. I was never an artist or a programmer, but I've always been interested in games and game dev, so I've attempted it off and on for years before finally making some progress a couple years ago with Game Maker 2. Before, I used to just follow tutorials without really learning anything, but I guess do enough of them and things will start to click. So I began branching off and made several small unfinished projects of my own, like a project testing out dialogue systems and a top-down shooter. And then I moved on to game jams. My first game jam was ultimately a success in that the game was fully realized as far as what I wanted it to set out and do, but it was riddled with game-breaking bugs. My second game jam I'm actually so proud of was a short Vampire Survivor clone that is totally playable, but also with a few bugs. Definitely tendencies of mine I learned from jams. I don't dedicate enough time to playtesting, and I suck at art. So those are things I'm working on, but safe to say any good art for my projects will not be coming from me. Now that I have confidence in what I see as the required skills to move on to the next phase of my journey, I wanted to make my first real project, a potential commercial release. Quick note here though, I'm definitely not looking to become a game dev to make money, like I know some YouTube game devs explicitly are, and of course there's totally nothing wrong with that. There are just games I really want to make, and I'm trying to get all the proper experience necessary in order to make them. Not that I'll be unhappy if success follows. So before jumping into what this new project is, we need to define two things: a cozy game and anti-cozy game. So first, a cozy game in my mind has three main aspects. First, a relaxed theme and art. So it's usually going to be set in like a village or a little shop or town or farm, and it'll be populated with the simple, typical tropey villagers going about their peaceful country lives. Maybe you give one 2 stones and they have babies with you. Secondly would be easy game mechanics. Now, I don't mean like brain dead, anyone can do it, but generally low barrier to entry and just a kind of a string of mini games that you can pick between while you're playing. As well as monotonous tasks like farming, fishing that you can just kind of repeat. Thirdly would be a low investment gameplay loop. So there's no time crunch. It kind of doesn't matter what you do with your time when you're playing, and you're never fully punished for failing to complete a task or not doing it in the proper way. Obviously then, an anti-cozy game is a game that perverts one or all of these aspects. So first you might have a darker theme in art, so it wouldn't be a small town, it could be something completely different, and the characters might be evil or dark or outrageous. The game mechanics might be a lot harder. You might require more skill from the player to succeed at. And the gameplay loop would be more punishing. So maybe there is a time constraint, or maybe if you fail at a goal, you actually lose progress in the game. I'm not actually looking to utilize all three of these aspects of an anti-cozy game. In fact, I'm focusing mostly on one, the first one. I see this game as a parody coming from a place of love. So obviously I want to attack the tired theme we're so inundated with. On the surface, I want it to be just like any cozy game you could pick up. You'll farm, fish, mine, etc., in that typical small, peaceful country village, and there will be the classic villager tropes going about their peaceful little country lives. Or are they? I want to lean into dark and weird, but overall humorous tones, so if the player dives just a little bit deeper into anything, they'll see it as anything but that cozy little town or an average cozy game. I'm really looking forward to going hard with this concept and poking a lot of fun at the genre through it. Obviously, this is a Devlog 0, but I've already made some progress. I actually spent a lot of time making a functional inventory system, forgive the hideous UI, and I have some basic actions done like tilling, watering, and planting crops. I just wanted to get this idea out there so that I can introduce myself, get feedback as I continue, and hopefully grow the channel and community so I can set aside even more time for this project. I really do want help from you to shape this game into something we can all enjoy. I mean, I've even grappled with other versions of this idea entirely, like a game with the cozy theme but weird and harder mechanics, for instance, maybe a linear experience with bosses for fishing and farming, or, something like that. Anyway, please do reach out in the comments or however. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this idea and the direction I'm going at this point. And I'll try to wrap up a few more basic mechanics I'm working on so I can release a proper Devlog 1 in the very near future. Obviously, liking and subscribing this video is a great way to support me and keep you informed and up to date on my progress. But thank you so much for watching. Until next time.